What up, team? Plarium responds. They've reached out. They want to know how we can reduce your playtime, my playtime too, but your playtime for Raid Shadow Legends. Now, this is a hot topic. This is something that I've discussed a long time ago. And I did an initial, what do we want to call it? I guess survey, thousands of players, early game, mid game, late game, end game. I found the data. And as we can see, January 9th, 2021. So coming up on a year now. And let's just go full screen for this. We have all of this here. If you've ever heard, it takes around the average player 4 hours or 4.5 hours, 4 hours and 15 minutes, 5 hours. Most of that data came from this that I compiled that long ago here. I remember once I did this, I know a lot of content creators started taking this idea as well and started applying it to their community. So it was really cool that everyone got together for this, but this has been an issue for quite some time. So I'm not really sure what to think about them asking for feedback now. Does that mean they're going to do anything about it? Who knows here? And as we can see, those huge giga eyes there, 1,428 hours a year spent on our lovely Raid Shadow Legends. So as we can see here, I'm on my account. It takes quite a while to do everything in this game. Now, it's going to range, of course, based on the player, where you're personally at in the game. Now, for me, and for pretty much every single end game person, this is only counting the free resources. This has nothing to do with if you're spending money. That's even more time. Clan boss specifically, my times are very fast, so I complete all 4 keys in about, I want to say 20 minutes, and I'm done with all 4 keys. That's going to be very different for some other players if they're early game, mid game. Early game might be the same because you are dying a lot quicker in those runs, so it's really hard to tell, which is why there is a trade-off. Arena, once again, takes seconds. Tag Arena, seconds for any endgame account with Faction Wars. If you have a good team that can farm quickly, you're only looking at, I don't know, 30 seconds, 40 seconds per run here. So it's not a lot of time for all players, but the majority of players, it's taking way too long. So what are we going to do about it? That's the question. What are they going to do about it? They're kind of looking for feedback. And one important thing to note is there's 2 methods of feedback that all games use. It's not like strange knowledge or assumed knowledge or anything. It's how companies work. They track all of the data. They know everything, which is weird because, like, if they know everything, Murder, why aren't they doing anything? There's a few reasons why they're not doing anything as of right now, but I'm certainly not going to speak for them, but this is just hindsight basing off of where they can get their analytics from. So they know, like for my account, how long I spend sitting looking at this home screen. They know how long I spent in Faction Wars based on the clicks. Of course, auto clickers are a thing. They understand that. They can count the kind of sequence clicks saying, okay, this is using an auto clicker. Clan boss, they know how long people are spending in clan boss runs. They have that data. That data alone is the #1 resource Plarium Raid Shadow Legends has as far as making decisions. But there's an option number 2, which is the community feedback option. It takes much longer to kind of be acted upon. It goes through moderators like myself. We gather it, we then give it to community managers who pass it up, who pass it up, who pass it up, and then finally a decision is considered, made, implemented, and I mean hopefully implemented if it's not shot down, and then we get to see it in the game. So those are the 2 methods there. And one thing to keep in mind is playtime is an issue, like I said, but if it's not affecting the game negatively, they're not going to change it. We can complain, we can stomp our feet, we can shout all we want, but if it doesn't affect the numbers, why? Why would they change it? You guys know what I mean? It's the same thing with the duplicate system. If people really hated it, they wouldn't be spending all of this money on these shard events just after that. When Plarium sees that, they say, I don't care what they're saying, what they're complaining about, the numbers speak for itself. If you want to change things, you have to do it in a sense where you're affecting the analytics. Spend less time on the game. Understand that it's becoming a problem. Don't just deal with it. Maybe you do lose some progression, but if you really want to change that, is how to do it. I'm not saying boycott the company, quit the game. Players who quit, it's kind of 50-50. We're talking about Plarium here, one of the most successful advertising campaigns ever. So those are the things you have to consider, but enough of that rant. What I want to talk about is what I said. Murder, what did you say? What offers and ideas did you give them? Now, as you guys know, whether you think I'm a shill, contrarian, whatever, I always think about the company, because a lot of creators give this feedback that's so unrealistic, but it makes their viewers happy. They say, yeah, go you, I'm with you. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to think intellectually about what makes sense for me as the player, but also for them as the company, because if it doesn't work both ways, they're not going to do it, and it's me just sitting here rambling just to get money from you guys watching my ads, which is, listen, everyone has their deal, what they want to do to make money, and this is what I prefer to do, to use some realistic approaches here. So this is what I sent forward. Let me make sure I'm not blocking it here. Okay, this is my idea. I did consider quite a few things, but this is what I came up with and what I did submit to them for them to review. So change the clan boss to 3 times or 4 times speed after completing 25 runs with a specific team on auto. Now, this isn't going to be ideal. It's not an instant snap on, snap off fix to time, but this is the issue, and this is why you're going to see the same 25 runs, 25 times on auto for all 3 of these options here. Factually, the more time players spend playing a game, the more likely they are to spend money. It's going to be the same across the board. For any free-to-play game with in-app purchases, the goal of the company is to make the player play the game for as long as possible, and it increases the odds of them spending money. With that being said, how can we not disrupt that metric, but make it easier for people who are already enjoying the game? They just want some more quality of life, like I do, like I'm sure many of you guys do. So this is why I approached it this way. Changing clan boss to 3 times or 4 times speed would absolutely, I mean, it would probably mess up some people's phones. If they're already getting hot now, they would be getting even hotter or warmer, and it could be a problem. I don't really think it's too stressing on computers for players. You guys can let me know about that. Of course, emulators would run worse on 3 times to 4 times speed. That is something to consider, but if it does save time overall, I think it's going to benefit most players. Now, the next thing I kind of pitch was going to be, after completing faction wars, this would require 3 stars, even though I didn't type that here, stage 25 times on auto, which means a full auto run. It will take 1 run to consume all available keys per stage. So this doesn't rob anyone of their progression, of their theory crafting, getting faster teams. It doesn't do that at all, because you have to run it 25 times on auto to make sure this is the thing. This is here to reward players who, and this is enough to be stage 21. Let's say you're progressing through the game, you hit one of the many walls Raid Shadow Legends has in progression, and you're on stage, I don't know, 14 for Faction War. You run stage 14 25 times. Every single time after that, we all know how long it can take to pull a champion to really boost your faction wars or get the proper gear you need, or books, whatever you do need to get to that next stage. Now you can run 1 key, consume every single key you have available in that 1 auto run, and you're done for the day. Small steps like these, in my opinion, are going to be the most beneficial, because once they see this go into effect, they can't just make a drastic change, cutting down the playtime in half, in a third. As much as some people would like that, if they do that, they could really kill the game. And I've said this 1,000 times. Player feedback, community feedback, as good as it is, if it's not carefully considered and slowly introduced, it can kill games. Look at the examples I've given in the past with rare books dropping from Nightmare Ultra Nightmare. Now all of a sudden, where are all the rare books? People aren't able to book their rares because people said get rid of the rares, and look at it. First we had no content, now we have too much content and it's taking 2 time. So you can kind of see how this is like a double-edged sword no matter what Plarium does. Because this issue that we're talking about, even though I covered this 10 months ago, before that, it was not an issue. It was actually the reverse. There's not enough to do in this game. There's not enough content in this game. Add more things to do. Let us spend more time in the game. I have nothing to do. So all of these things do play a huge role, which is why I want them to ease in with a system like this or whatever they can come up with, and not just make a drastic change, because they are definitely smart enough to know it can be very, very harmful. The next thing we have here is, after completing a Doom Tower boss 25 times on auto, it will take 1 run to consume all additional silver keys. Now this would not help players out who want to run the Doom Tower waves quicker. This wouldn't help anything with the secret rooms. Yes, maybe if you complete secret rooms enough times, you can add something like this, but that's up for plarium to decide because it is a way to get fragments, which is a bit different from the rewards of any of these other 3 sections here. So this is what I propose. What do you guys think? Maybe you guys can give me another good idea to pitch to them, because like I said, they're asking a select group of people for some feedback on this, how to approach this in the proper direction. That has nothing to do with their analytics. Like I said, they have that all sorted. They know what the numbers are. They know how long you as the players are spending in clan boss, dungeons, Doom Tower, Arena. They know all of that. They don't need us to tell them that. What they are looking for is your, I guess, opinion on it and how we can fix it based on feedback. Maybe some things that they can't see based on their numbers. Because overall, this is what it's going to come down to. Whatever their analytics say, they're going to compare the analytics to the most popular feedback that's given to them, and that's the only possible way I can personally see it working for both parties where they act on this. If it doesn't favor both parties, then I don't really see this happening. Now, something that someone mentioned to me earlier was, how about upgrading gear, like multiple pieces of gear at the same time? That would be pretty cool. It could be pretty scary for silver. You could be using a lot of silver. Like if I wanted to upgrade this shield, I wanted to upgrade this weapon and another blank piece and this shield right here. That's 3 pieces right there. If I wanted to upgrade all 3 of them to 16, which is rare you would ever want to do that, because of course once you get +4, +8, it's going to roll into a stat. If it's not a stat you want, then what are you going to do? Cancel it, take the piece out, start the process over again. So what I really think they should do, and the main thing they should do, is get rid of this animation disaster that we have going on here. Yes, it's fine now because stage 1 through 4, it's an instant upgrade. What they should do is they should add a slider here, kind of like the slider we have here. Although when I scroll to 4, 8, 12, 16, I simply click on 8, it upgrades as much as it can with the silver that I do have based on the algorithm and probability they have set in place for this, and it just gives me the piece after that. That would make it so we don't have to use programs like Riva Tuner or SL Helper, all of these other programs that lower the frame rate so much where we can quickly upgrade and all of that jazz. So I think this is a huge thing. Now, silver is a really lacking part of the game. We all know that. They need to do better on that front as well. However, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to kind of take a look at least at gear, how they can make it more efficient. Outside of that, like I said, I can't really think of any huge time-consuming things that I can think of. I mean, Tag Arena is a flawed system. Yes, it takes a while if you're not in one of the rankings and you use see this strategy here that's very common. You put in a one-man defense and you're just farming teams like this. This doesn't take any time at all, and it's really easy to climb back up assuming you belong in whatever ranking you're currently in. But Tag Arena as a system is very flawed, so that's not a really good talking point there. Arena can take a while unless you're not pushing. If you're just kind of free farming, most of the matches don't take too long. So I do think I covered the most taxing of the events, being faction wars, clan boss, in a section of the Doom Tower. If you guys have any other ideas, definitely drop a comment below, let me know. Like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and as soon as they have some kind of response to me, I'll upload a video about it. I'll let you guys know. I'm really hoping for the best here, hoping they finally see some connection between what the community wants and what their analytics say so they can act upon it. If not, listen, they're adding Hydra. I think Hydra is a step in the right direction. It's not a daily clan boss. You don't have to do it daily. I'm personally anticipating Hydra is something we're going to have to manual. Now, manual could be the bad M word, but I don't think it's that bad to manual something 3 times a week. A week's a long time, and most people who are playing this game by now, knowing how long it takes, we have time to manual 3 Hydra keys over the duration of 7 whole days. That's a very long time, and I think that's fine. I think that's probably the way they should approach all future content. Don't really add too much daily stuff. Yes, 2022 is claimed to be the year of player versus player, which could be troublesome. I'm going to talk about that in another video, kind of going over the future roadmap of this game since we've been revealed up until this point, the completion of the 2019 roadmap. So I'm excited to show you guys that, all of the future content they have planned for us that has been revealed, some of it that's been leaked a long time ago that we're finally going to see, and I have done a video on it, so I'm excited to get that information out to you guys next. Alright guys, that's it for my video. Don't forget, leave some feedback, let me know what you guys think. What are you guys spending the most amount of time on in this game on a daily basis without spending any money on the game, just using your free resources daily? As always, if you enjoy this content, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss these upcoming videos from me, and I will see you all in the next video.